Hello, my beautiful Sagittarius family, and welcome to our July 2021 reading. I'm really excited to sit down and talk with you through this July. It's a beautiful one. It's a really useful July, I think. And when I sit down to look at Sag's energy in July, it's a really interesting mix of experiences going on here. It's a very deep time of the year for you all. And one that I think can provide some of the best sense of the adventure and the clarity of your growth and your expansion and your curiosity of almost any time of the year. We're moving through Cancerian energy. So we have a new moon in Cancer, sun in Cancer, Mercury working through Cancer. So this is a time of deep emotive truth and feeling, especially if you're a Sag rising. This is going to be 8th house energy. This is going to be transformative energy. Now, for me, this is such a key place to explore the self and explore our growth and acknowledge our growth, because this is where you can get into the really exciting, juicy stuff of realizing, oh my gosh, I am this person now. Like, to acknowledge that, the person you are sitting here today is probably a person that you only dreamed of being a couple of years ago. And now you're that person, and you get to understand what that means. It also means you're opening your heart to the adventures ahead, to the unknowns ahead, to the sources of creativity and connection and adventure that you're going to be needing. So this is a potent time of year. Not only that, we also have energy starting to move into Leo. Of course, we're going to have, let me see here. We have Venus in Leo a good chunk of the month, actually. We also have Mercury moving into Leo at the end of the month, and we have the Sun moving into Leo. We're starting to work with Leonine energy, which is great for Sagittarius as well, because this is the big picture philosophical energy. So for me, moving through the transformative spiritual sector into the philosophical big picture spectrum is such a powerful combo. Like, this is the kind of stuff that can really help you see clearly the bigger picture. And I think it activates Sag energy in such a really nice, natural way too. Like, Leo energy is going to amplify the fun playfulness of fire energy, which we need in the world right now, actually. We have been a little starved, I'll be honest, of the warmth and play of fire energy because of where the planets are right now. We're focusing on all these other things, including the fact that the South Node has been in Sag for a year now, a little over a year. And so that was another thing I wanted to mention before we get to the cards today, is we have about 6 months left of the South Node in your sign. And I know for me, it's been a learning curve. It's been a really interesting year of because I have Sag rising, so it's been really interesting to learn about myself from these other perspectives. But this is the other thing. I got this hit the other day where it feels like there's all this time left in 2021, and I'm not trying to say this out of a place of scarcity whatsoever, but it's kind of like it feels like January 2022 is like way over there and can't be bothered to worry about it. But here's what I would say. In January 2022, the South Node moves to Scorpio. All that pressure on Sag with the South Node work is gone. And that's coming up sooner than you think. So July for me, it's like I just had this vision the other day. It was like time collapsed. Sometimes the illusion of time just kind of goes away. You ever have that experience? It happens to me sometimes. And suddenly it was like, oh my God, what I'm doing here today is it's basically January, but it's here today, but I'm in January. And I can see how these things are not some disparate, separate thing. They're intimately connected, and they're very connected right now in July as we go through this month. And so this is a really, really wonderful opportunity, working with the Cancerian energy and the Leonine energy, to start getting your ducks in a row, start getting your energetic frequency in a row. Start those little steps right now this month. You're going to notice you're getting called in impulses to just sign up for that little, course that you're interested in, even if it's small and it's simple and it's easy and you kind of want to, your inner critic may be like, it doesn't really matter. What's that going to do it. Follow those creative impulses, follow those little impulses to tidy up a drawer or to make up that phone call, because these things are all culminating and they're starting now to influence this next energetic chapter that will be coming through in the new year. So it's an interesting time of there being this connectedness between who you are right now, enjoying your transformative process. You're coming into a greater knowing of yourself. You're coming into this empowered state. I'm just so excited to see the return of the Sagittarius frequency. Like, not that it ever went anywhere, but maybe this is just me projecting, but it has felt a little bit like we have not been living in a world with that kind of energy. And I am just so excited. I want this team of people here that's hanging out with me right now. I want our beauty to come back. I want us to help the world in that way. I want that bigness and that boldness. Like, it's going to get me emotional. The Lovers, hi, I love that. And by the way, this month I decided to use the Animal Totem Tarot. It's a gorgeous deck and very, it's just nice to get some different perspectives in here. I'm just so excited for that. So I'm really amped up to talk to you all. Eight of Swords, there's that Cancerian energy of transformation. And, one of the things with Eight of Swords is that a big message that comes with it each time is that there's no looking back, right? We were having this discussion on one of my Patreons because we talk every single week and hang out, and we have a really great comment section where we talk through things. And somebody had pointed out that with Eight of Swords, it's like we can get snagged, on the past and feel like maybe I should retract myself a little bit. Maybe I should pull back and maybe I should try and keep myself small. But the Eight of Swords kind of demands growth forward. And in fact, I'll read the message that comes with the Eight of Swords in this deck, I think, just because I think it's a powerful message. Ace of Swords, hello. Panda, our dear friend Panda. Oh, and the Star, hello. Oh, I love the card in this deck. It's just so beautiful. This pearl in the moonlight and the starlight. Okay. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous reading. Yeah, I'm so excited for Sagittarius to feel their full fire return and to be ourselves in the world. Okay, so Lovers, let's start off right away. This is about reciprocal love and connection and partnership. It's about sharing of ideas, sharing of knowledge, being able to calibrate again as well. And I think this is an important month of calibration for you all. And of course, this has to do with deeper commitment, deeper answers, deeper knowing, clarity, truth. If you are, and the Lovers is a beautiful energy for speaking to deepening of close relationships, and that being a huge part of this adventure ahead, right? There's a simplicity to the Lovers, honestly. It's those relationships where we can be ourselves, we can speak our minds with ease so that we have the reciprocal energy, there's a flow going on. So focus on those relationships that are pulling you forward. They will ask you to be vulnerable. They will ask you to learn new skill sets. They will ask you to learn new things that are uncomfortable sometimes, and will ask us to access parts of our emotional truth and our sensitivity that maybe it's I'd rather just be light and silly today, right? So the Lovers will ask that of you, but it will also reward you with adventure, with clarity. So this is a strong energy. Now let's get into this Eight of Swords. Like I said, this is a card where when we are growing and working through 8th house energy, Cancerian energy, feeling our feelings, feeling where we are, moving through our transformation can be uncomfortable because there may be a part of us that says, oh my gosh, I've signed up for something big in this life and I'm a little scared, and it would be really convenient to maybe just go back to the chill things I was kind of dreaming of a couple years ago. But the Eight of Swords it's not interested in the back. So I would love to just let's let's read the message that comes with the Eight of Swords in this particular deck with the mole. So here it is. Sometimes we all end up in situations that are foreign to us. It might be strange and new surroundings, or maybe having to solve a problem in a new way you have never had to before. Either way, what was once normal is no more. And to find your way now, you are going to have to surrender to what is so that a new way can be discovered. I love that. That's exactly what I was saying. It's a time of moving forward in the world for you. And yes, that can be a big learning curve. That can be a really like, oh my gosh, I'm picking up all these new skills. But that's where it's at. This is where the Sag light is coming back to life. It is going to ask Sages to be bright and brilliant and bold. Now, we have the Ace of Swords and the Star, and it's giving me goosebumps. What can I say? I think about working through all that transformative energy, working through all that vulnerability here at the beginning of the month, right, when we're working Cancer energy, and then getting to, as the energy starts flowing into Leo, and as we get that full moon in Aquarius, which is going to jive so well with you Sages, and just Leo and Aquarian energy for Sages is such a great energy. It's just symbiotic with you all. It helps you feel like yourself. It helps you envision. It's like, here's your answer. There's no doubt that by the end of this month, you are going to have some really great news coming in. You're going to have some really great new projects wanting to be birthed through you, some really great new friendships, some really great new news. Like, you might literally be getting the news you've been waiting for, right? Like that phone call, that letter, that email, that conversation, that inner knowing, that breakthrough in your creative process, that signing up for the thing you've been wanting to sign up for, that deepening of your relationship. These cards speak to crystal clear clarity. These are not about being muddled or confused. What I would say about both of these cards, Ace of Swords cuts through, it cuts away what's no longer serving. That's a big part of it. And it also cuts through the murk for us to see clearly, right? So there's no questioning any of it. And the same with the Star, right? The Star is about getting that wish, getting, tapping back into our souls, tapping back into our deservingness of things, and also tapping back into a sense of adventure. And what I would say with both Ace of Swords and Star as the cards that are coming out for you here is that it's never complicated when something is for you. Sure, there's things that have to be done, right? And processes to go through, and you still have that sense of mystery. But I mean complicated in the sense of us having to think our way through it and convince ourselves it's okay, and convince ourselves we need to live this way, and convince ourselves that we have to, live with this partner who doesn't really care about us, or live in this job that we, and talk ourselves into all sorts of really painful situations, right? Things that are meant for us, things that are working for us, things that reflect our soul don't ever have that level of complexity. Sure, they have challenge to them, and they can be a little overwhelming and be like, well, I'm learning a lot at once, but there's this, you never have to go through the step of talking yourself into it. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind in life. There's a lot of times when we're determined and we want to show up for it all and we want to be adventurous, we end up talking ourselves into all sorts of things in the name of being open-minded, in the name of being hard workers, in the name of being adventurous enough. And the thing is, something that is adventurous and soul-fulfilling will never require a big old pep talk of convincing from inside to do, right? And really everything here is you're moving forward. So that is going to include learning new skills, being vulnerable, showing up, sharing your light, taking up your space, requesting what you want to request, asking for the big dreams, lining up with your frequency. And that is vulnerable shit, especially when you've been wanting to kind of keep to yourself or just kind of get through the South Node situation in Sagittarius. Now's the time. I'm telling you, now is the time. The next 6 months, it's going to things are going to move much faster than you think. And I'm not just saying that to freak anybody out. It's to inspire you. It's to get you excited. It's to get you in the mode to know that if you're willing to do that class, make that phone call, have that conversation, it is worth it when it's something that is calling to you. Yeah. I keep talking about it because it's really like one of my big uncomfortable learning Eight of Swords moments in my life, which is Swedish. I have to keep showing up every day. And there are days when it's good and I have breakthroughs and I'm like, yes, I can express myself. And there are days when I feel like I have no words for what I want to say. And it feels like I am so far from being able to relax in this new language, and everything is new, and I'm like, who am I? Who is this like gangly person trying to speak, right? And it's really good for me, but it's that exact thing of like, this is something I don't have to talk myself into, but it is challenging me, and it is waking up parts of myself I had no idea needed to be woken up and shaken free, and dreaming and playing and exploring and expanding, and not taking learning so seriously, for one, and just having fun in it and remembering why I'm wanting to learn in the first place. That's just one example. I'm so excited to see what this month brings for Sages. I think it's going to be a month of deep inspiration, deep learning, excitement, adventure, but yes, it's not about the familiar landscape anymore. So this is big picture energy, and you got to go for it. And I'm just going to say that. Like I've mentioned, Patreon is where I get to have a lot of those deeper conversations, and it's just a wonderful space for me to provide more support for you throughout the month. So I'd love to see you there. It'd be awesome. I'd love to see you here too, obviously. So please let me know how you're doing. And like and subscribe and comment and let me know. I'd love that. You can also find me on Instagram and my website. So I'll leave all of those links, and now I have something in my eye. I will leave all of those links below, and you can also find PinkLune's jewelry on her Etsy shop. So I'll let you know where to find all of those things. And I just hope you have a beautiful, adventure-filled July full of love and joy and curiosity, and bring in that Sag fire back. Yes, let's do it. I'll talk to y'all soon, and I love you.